perspective, when I think about the benefits of managing stress, I think we're going to have a happier workforce. We're looking after the welfare of our employees. We're going to improve productivity and performance, and then we're going to improve job satisfaction. So the organisation benefits, without a doubt, if we're managing the stress levels. So, I think there's a lot to say if you're an organisation that's not looking after your employee, especially through these period of times where we know we're having high stress and high sickness and high absence. So yeah, I definitely think that if an organisation is able to manage this, they will definitely go a long way in terms of becoming an employer of choice. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think there's something about encouraging business to actually have their own therapist, in-house therapist who sits within the business. So if anybody needs, instant access to therapy, there is that facility there. Because I think sometimes when you have to go through, the EAPs, it's a process and it's not instant. Sometimes have to wait a few weeks when they could be in crisis. So I think, having instant access to therapy would be a real benefit for businesses that can afford to provide that provision.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Instant access to therapy. Well, maybe the large organisations can afford that.
Maybe. But as we're saying, it improves productivity, so they benefit financially. So it's a cycle, isn't it? Everything gains.
Perfect.
And I would say that actually the best employers are providing a whole range of different interventions that are, to address well-being need within an organisation, because it's about, horses for courses. Some people don't want therapy, they want to read something or they want to access an app, that they can use to help to boost their well-being. But some people want to attend a workshop and develop their skills that way. Some people need something one-to-one like coaching or therapy.
Yes.
So there's a whole range of, actually the best organisations are offering a wide range of potential interventions so that people can pick and choose the things that suit them, that suit their learning needs and suit their needs in terms of their, degree of stress and so on.
Yes, yeah. Because, stress comes in different forms, and it may not just be, personal stress. If I'm looking at the work-based stress, I'm thinking about actually it could be time management. You're stressed because you're not managing your time effectively, like I mentioned, or you're stressed because of politics at work, but how do you manage this? Or you're stressed because of, relationships at work, that don't really work. Or you're just literally got too much responsibility and you have too much in your job in general. So stress can be from different factors. And I guess the most important thing is for organizations to have open conversations with them employees, and then for employees to be open with line managers to be able to discuss, their triggers of stress.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we do as an organisation is we do workplace wellbeing surveys, and we see increasingly how crucial this type of systematic assessment is, because actually as an organisation, if you want to address stress, you need to know what the sources of stress are in your organisation. Like, that active response is, it isn't good enough if you don't know what the sources of stress are in the first place. If you do a survey of your staff group, then you can find out from the horse's mouth, what is it that's actually causing stress for people. And actually, when we've done surveys in organisations, sometimes we get some surprising results. We think that it's the workload, but actually, we've had organisations where the biggest source of stress that's been identified by staff is the parking problems. Sometimes, practical things. This, it takes me 20 minutes to walk to the toilets. There's things that people identify that are real practical factors that make a difference to their experience at work. But then, of course, there might be other things like workload or difficult relationships, or my office is smelly, or whatever it is.
The work environment. The working environment,
might be exactly, but you don't know any of this unless you ask staff. And then you can also, as part of a survey, ask them what do they think they need to address those sources of stress? What's helping? What isn't helping? So that data that's, you know, specific, bespoke to your organisation is you know, crucial, and it's like gold dust when it comes to thinking about your well-being strategy and what you're going to implement that's really going to help levels of stress, you know, alleviate levels of stress in your workplace.
Yeah. And alleviating absences as well, you know, because you may engage a service like yours when you see that there's high levels and repeated absences, you know. So if you can engage in these surveys to find out exactly what's causing those absences.
Yes, absolutely.
What's going on. Yeah.
Because stress is one of the biggest causes of workplace absence, you know, sick absence. It's like, you know, 55%, I've got the data here, hang on. 55% of all working days lost through ill health are to do with stress.
Yeah, and obviously stress leads to employee turnover, and then employee turnover and unhappy because staff are actually having increased workloads because people are, you know, they're short-staffed, and then low employee morale when people tend to be leaving. So it has a rippling negative effect in an organisation. Yeah. So to end, just going to ask this question for both of you. So what do you do, Natalie, to alleviate your stress levels?
I take time out. I go and sit and read a bit of Freud, if I'm honest, because I find it really relaxing just to engage my mind in something else that I really actually feel passionate about. Yeah. So reading helps, and even if it's just sitting in my I got a room in my garden which I practice my psychotherapy from, and sometimes I just go and sit in there, have some peace and quiet with a book, or even with a candle, and just be with myself.
Yeah. What do you do, Jo?
I certainly use the breathing technique that I mentioned, the slow rhythmic breathing, particularly if I start to notice signs and symptoms of stress. I find that really helpful. I would say that equally, like Natalie, there's something about being mindful and being in the moment that can be really helpful, you know, particularly like, you know, on a nice day. I know the weather's not wonderful at the moment, but, you know, to just sit in the garden for 5 minutes and just be in them, notice the sounds, you know, the smells, what you see, you know, just literally just noticing all those sensory experiences for a few moments just brings you down into the present moment and kind of you know, helps you to sort of step away from, you know, all that worry about what am I going to be doing next and what happened yesterday and what's on my to-do list, and, you know, that bringing, you know, focusing your attention on the present moment's really, really helpful. And certainly I do that. And I think connecting with my social network is really helpful too.
Yeah. Okay. And for me, I love to, as everyone knows, I love to do exercise. So if I'm stressed and I feel I've got lots on my head, I like to clear my head. I go for a run. I do a bit of tennis. I do something to clear my head. And that really helps to set my day.